Welcome to the Nuclear Power Institute series of Science in the Kitchen, Cooking Up Curiosity. Delivered by our NPI team members, we explore the science, production, automation, distribution, and workforce behind the Texas food industry, using the kitchen and cooking as alternative platforms to convey STEM knowledge and information. Each cooking episode peppers science factoids throughout the demonstration, and each in the field episode unearths the STEM before food enters the kitchen. So, the next time you're in some type of field or in some sort of kitchen, we hope we've cooked up your curiosity to discover the science while you're there.
Good afternoon. Welcome to my backyard. My name is Bettina Elliott, and I'm going to show you my backyard composter. This is really easy to compost anything in your yard, like branches, grass, leaves. Recently we had a flood. I had two little palm trees die. The yard guy cut them. We dumped them in here. I've got eggshells. I've got citrus peelings. I've got the tops of pineapples. I've got celery, anything that is from my kitchen that is not protein. There's no meat, there's no cheese, there's no bones in here. When I come outside, I try to rotate it, and and we put water in it occasionally. I've got the water turned on. Let me pick this up. You want to put water in it because it gets dry, and I'll show you what it looks like in a minute. Let me put some water in here. And you can see this stuff up here, see that? There's eggshells, there's broken down leaves that's beginning to break down. The compost, what's going to happen in here right now, it's about a little bit less than half full. This will break down and it looks exactly like what's inside a bag of potting soil. It looks identical. It's rich, it's really dark, it's full of nutrients. It's really good for your garden. If you want to put it in a pot, if you want to put it around your trees. Okay, then I'm going to spin it in that water. It's kind of heavy because of the water. And I spin it to mix everything around so that it doesn't just stay in one place. Now, remember, I'll open it up at an angle. Let me get this locked in place. I want you to see what the inside looks like. I told you we had a freeze, so there's still some palm branches in there. There's some, if you looked inside real close, it looks like dirt in there because that's what it's going to become. It's going to become dirt. There's a lot of eggshells in here. When we put eggshells in here, now somebody will say, well, that's going to smell. When we crack an egg, we do rinse it out in the sink. I leave them upside down to dry, and then we keep a little bowl. I'll peel a grapefruit, I'll peel an orange. Maybe if I've used maybe some carrots, I've peeled potatoes, I've cut up a pineapple. All of that stuff that we cut away from the fruits and the vegetables that would normally go in the trash can or the garbage disposal, that can all go in your composter, and it'll break down and become potting soil. And the reason you want that is because it is better for your plants. You can put it around your trees, you can put it in pots. We've done gardening, whether it's in pots or in the ground. I bought this, this is probably at least 10 years old. And I noticed it's starting to get a little bit rusted, but it's outside every day. It lives outside. It's got a pipe on the inside. There's a little screen on this side and on that side. And the pipe runs through it. It's about 3 inches around. And that pipe has holes in it so that the air can get through. I mean, it needs to have air in there. There are little tiny bugs in there. People will put worms in there. That's good. It's going to break down all of that stuff. The leaves, the worms are going to eat that. There's little tiny ants. Like I said, I've not seen roaches, so that's not a problem. If I know somebody said, oh my gosh, you've got food in there. Aren't you going to have roaches? Well, no, I've never seen a roach in this, so I don't know if somebody else has had a problem with that. I do know that, okay, I'll give you a story why we got this. There are many ways to compost. This is our most recent, like I said, it's 10 years old. Many years ago, we cut a lot of branches and things like that. We raked up everything. We had a lot of black trash bags full of leaves. I'm talking 27 bags, you know, the big black trash bags, right? We filled them up with leaves. The leaves were huge. We tied the bags up. We poked holes in the bag with a pitchfork, and we put them up on the along the side of the fence, and we left them for 1 year, one full year. We had this experience before. That's why we did it again when we moved to this house. We left those 26 bags for 1 year. We moved here in March. The following March, we went and we opened those black bags that were full of leaves. And inside was the most black, I mean, as pitch black as you can imagine. Black, rich, beautiful, clean potting soil. It broke down because we poked holes in it. We didn't do one single thing to those bags other than put the leaves in, tie them closed, and poke holes in them. We never touched them again. We left them along the fence for one full year, and they broke down on their own. Then that's one way to compost. You can have a bin, an area with maybe some chicken wire, and you just put all of your yard clippings, branches, any vegetables, any kind of, maybe the apple core, like I said, any citrus. We eat a lot of citrus here. Even don't worry about, like somebody said, well, gosh, if you're putting the apple in there, it's got the seeds in there. Well, you know, I've not had an apple grow in my yard when I've put the composted, the product of the compost pot bin in my garden. I've never had anything like that pop up, so that is not a concern. Anytime that somebody has asked me, well, you know, what are you not going to put in there? Okay, I don't. When we're cooking, if I'm peeling, if I'm cleaning the chicken, I'm not going to put the skin of the chicken, anything I cut off, any fat, any of the bone. I'm not putting any of that in here because that is going to bring some of the bad pests in here. That's going to attract the mess. And that's where you're going to get the smell. Somebody asked me too, doesn't it stink because you're putting eggs in there and you're putting the potato peelings and you're putting the carrots in there? You know what it smells like when you open the bag of potting soil? That's what it smells like when you open this. It just smells like earth because that's what this is. So if I were to put the chicken skin in there or the fat off of the fajitas, I'd probably have a real problem in here. I'd have mold in here. That would be a mess. So I don't put that in here. Another thing that can go in here, I've never put it in, but in the pamphlet that came with this, it did say that we could put shredded paper in it. And we thought about it for a while, but we just never did it. And I think, and it does break down. If it's shredded, it's going to break down pretty fast. So that is an option because what is paper made of? It's made of wood. So it is going to break down, but we've just never done it. But we've been using this, like I said, I think I've had it about 10 years, and it's held up really well. I've got a little tiny part that looks like it's a little rusted out. I might have to contact the company to get a replacement, but it's got a lot of miles on it, and so I think I'll leave it on its side so it can drain. I've got a lot of water in there still. But this is what I've been doing with composting. Composting is really easy to do. It doesn't take a lot. Any food scraps that are, think about anything that grows from the ground, any kind of a fruit, a vegetable, or the eggs. I don't know, eggs are protein, but I'm kind of contradicting myself, but the eggshells do go in there and they're fine. And also coffee grounds can go in. Coffee grounds and tea grounds. I don't make coffee. I don't drink coffee, but that can go in as well. So that's another option because coffee is a leaf. So coffee grounds can go in. So that's another thing that can go in here. I can't think of what else goes in here. I guess if I was cutting hair, I wonder if I could go in there. I'm not going to try hair. I'm not going to try that. I'll just pass on that part. But I think that should do it for composting. Okay. Thank you for coming to my backyard.